it's Kim from the Squishy Monster TSM on YouTube, and today I'm hanging out with Sandy from Easy Cooking with Sandy, and together we're going to make our own versions of comfort food. So it made me think of tteokguk, which is rice cake soup. I'm just bringing my water to a boil, so I just have some cold filtered water. And to that I'm going to add in my anchovies, some garlic, some onion, and some tajima. It's kombu or it's kelp, and it's so good in so many different things. And I'm going to bring this to a boil for about 15 to 20 minutes. And not only is this a classic Korean comfort food, it's also eaten if it's cold outside or if you have a cold, and it's eaten traditionally on New Year's Day. While my stock is bubbling away, I can work on my garnishes, and I'm going to do a combination of seaweed and some egg. So I'm going to drizzle a little bit of oil on the bottom of my small pan. And I just have a few eggs cracked into my little dish, and I'm going to pour as much as I need to make sort of like a thin egg crepe, and the rest I'm going to drip into my soup. So just a little bit like that, and I'm not going to put any pepper. I want it to stay pretty pure yellow, and just little flecks of salt will be fine. And when it's done, I'm going to flip it over and then slice it up into little strips. My center is still a little jiggly, but the edges are getting crisp and brown, so I want to flip him over. So just gently lift your spatula underneath and then flip it over like that. And this is exactly how I want to prepare my egg when I make kimbap, the Korean kind of sushi rolls. It's our version of maki rolls, I suppose. And you want the other side to get golden as well. And then, like I said, we'll just cut them up into strips. My other garnish will be some crumbled up seaweed. I'm going to actually crumble him up into fine dust. And I can just roast my own by taking a sheet of seaweed paper. They actually have these at a lot of conventional markets now, but you can always find them at the Asian supermarket. I know they have them online like at Amazon, but actually Trader Joe's now has some roasted and salted seaweed paper, so you could just take that as well. So here is my prepared egg and my seaweed. And this seaweed is going to get the same treatment as I would if I was going to eat them on very lean days. This is actually what we used as rice wraps. And it's just as simple as making it like this, cutting it up into little squares and wrapping it in rice and just dunking it in soy sauce. And that was what a meal consisted of sometimes. So I'm just brushing my roasted laver with some sesame oil. I love the richness and it pairs beautifully with the seaweed. So when it's glossy and wet like that, you just want to sprinkle him with just a touch of salt. Just enhance the flavor. And then with my egg, I just want to cut him up into strips. And just thin strips so I can use it to garnish on top of my soup. So here are my little egg pieces, and with my seaweed, I just have to grind him up into a fine rubble. So this is really fun. You just go in there with your hands and just kind of break it apart. And you're left with this like seaweed rubble to place on top of your soup as well. I've just strained my stock, and now all the other yummies can go into the pot. So in goes my rice cakes that I've just been soaking in just some cold water, and I have some sliced on the diagonal, but you can get any shape you really like, but this is what's traditional. And it's like pasta shapes. They're all the same, but they just have different an aesthetic look to them. And these can be found at your local Asian market in the refrigerated or frozen section. So into the pot they go, and that's kind of our star ingredient there. And then to flavor our stock, we have a combination of sesame oil and some fish stock to echo what was in to create the stock, as well as some garlic, which was also used to create the stock. So I can salt and pepper this layer, and you can taste as you go, and salt and pepper as you need. And I want to bring this to a boil. And then, not to forget about the egg, we're gonna drop the egg in to make kind of like to make it kind of thick and nice and really savory. Let's see what's going on. So, nice. You'll know that the rice cakes are ready when they float to the top like that, and you want to give them a stir occasionally because they are sticky and you want them to not be a big clumpy mass stuck to each other. So now we can drop in our egg. This is the egg that we poured into the pan to make our little egg crepe, and now we're using it again here. And you want it to set before you stir, so it's starting to float up because you're using it to thicken and flavor the stew. So now we can go in there and stir, and almost immediately it really does thicken it up And I just love putting egg in my soups. It's really just, it's kind of like an egg drop soup almost. So you want to layer this layer as, you want to season this layer as well with a little bit of salt and pepper. Give it another stir. And then you want to finish off with some green onions, and we're ready to serve and eat. So before I taste this, fingers crossed that I did my mama proud, because she used to whip this up for me whenever I wasn't feeling well, so it's completely comforting for me. So let's see how it tastes. I just love rice cakes. They're so endlessly versatile. Sometimes I like to take them plain and just steam them and dip them in granulated sugar or honey, and it's a treat like that. But then they transform themselves entirely when you put them into a soup like this, and it just smells amazing. It's so simple, but it's so comforting. I hope you guys give it a try. Check out Sandy, tell her I said hello. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. This was Angela Kim from the Squishy Monster TSM on YouTube, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.